Welcome everybody to another video of Ancient Greece Reloaded. Today we will talk about the famous king Aeacus, the son of Zeus and the nymph Aegina, one of the three judges of the Underworld. By the way, if you like the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel, so stay tuned for upcoming videos. In short, Aeacus was a son of Zeus, became a king of Aegina during his life, and later on he became immortal and one of the judges of the dead in the afterlife. The story of Aeacus begins with the abduction of Aegina by Zeus. Aegina was a Naiad, a water nymph, daughter of the river god Asopus and Metope. Asopus was blessed or cursed with 20 very beautiful daughters, all of whom were desired by the male gods, and so Asopus became very protective of his daughters. Nothing though could stop Zeus, other than perhaps Hera, when the supreme god decided to have his way with a beautiful maiden. To separate Aegina from her father, Zeus transformed himself into an eagle, swooped down upon Aegina and whisked her away to the island of Oenone in the Saronic Gulf. Now, initially Asopus was unaware of the abduction of Aegina, but was told of the abduction of Zeus by King Sisyphus. But even with the news of Aegina's abduction, Asopus could do little, for even as the Potamoi approached the island of Oenone, Zeus threw down Thunderbolts to dissuade the river god. Zeus would have plenty of time to consummate a relationship with Aegina, and hence a son was born to the Naiad, the son being Aeacus. Zeus would decree that the island of Oenone would be known as Aegina, in honor of the water nymph. Aegina would subsequently be married off to a prince of Phocis called Actor, and amongst her other offspring was Menoetius, a named Greek hero and one who sailed on board the Argo. Aeacus himself would grow up on the island of Aegina and would become king of it. One version of the Aeacus myth tells us that whilst Aeacus might be king of the island, he had no subjects, for the island of Aegina was uninhabited. To rectify this and to help Aeacus rule over an actual kingdom populated with subjects, Zeus was said to have transformed a colony of ants into people, giving rise to the Myrmidon people. In a second version of the tale, Aegina was once populated, but Hera sent forth a plague which killed off the island's entire population, save for Aeacus, due to Hera seeking revenge for her husband's affair. To repopulate the island, Zeus would thereafter transform the ants into a new generation of people. Aeacus would subsequently appear in a number of different mythological tales. Famously, Aeacus would be one of the companions of the Olympian gods Poseidon and Apollo during their exile amongst men. Zeus had exiled his brother and son for plotting against him, and so the two gods were forced to undertake menial work for others. At one point, the company of gods and men would find themselves in the city of Troy, where King Laomedon would employ them. Apollo would tend to the livestock, whilst Poseidon would build Troy some new city walls, and Aeacus would assist in the building of the walls of Troy. When the party sought the wages for the work, Laomedon decided not to pay for the work, and in retribution, a plague was sent down upon the city, and a sea monster, the Trojan Cetus, would ravage the beachside. Troy would only be freed from the plague and the monster when Heracles arrived in the region, but once again, Laomedon refused to pay for Heracles' efforts. So, Heracles besieged the city of Troy, and when the walls were breached, it was said that Telamon was the man to breach the wall at the point that his father had constructed. You see, Telamon was one of Aeacus' children. At home, Aeacus was loved by his subjects and respected across Greece. Also, having learned from Poseidon at Troy, Aeacus would make Aegina a defendable island by constructing cliffs as walls, and subsequently, Aegina was far more secure against invasions or pirates. Aeacus would also gain a reputation across ancient Greece for the justice system that he created for the island of Aegina, and for the fairness in which the laws were enacted. Kings and gods would subsequently approach Aeacus to settle disputes. Aeacus would take as his wives, and these, Psamathe, and maybe a third one. Together they had 4 children, Telamon, Peleus, Phocis, and a daughter called Alcimache. However, all was not well upon Aegina though, for jealousy abounded in the royal palace. Aeacus' wife Endys was angry at the favoritism seemingly given to Phocis, the son of the king's mistress, whilst Telamon and Peleus were jealous of the sporting prowess exhibited by Phocis. A plan was hatched, possibly at the instigation of Endys, resulting in Phocis being accidentally hit upon the head by a discus thrown by Telamon. Aeacus would banish Telamon and Peleus from Aegina for their actions. Telamon and Peleus would of course make their own names away from Aegina, for Peleus would be amongst the Calydonian hunters and Argonauts, and Telamon was also an Argonaut and companion of Heracles. By Peleus, Aeacus would become grandfather of Achilles, whilst the king of Aegina was also grandfather to Teucer and Ajax the Great via Telamon. The story of Aeacus continued though, for in recognition of his fairness as a king, Aeacus would be made immortal and would forever sit in judgment upon the dead. Aeacus would therefore sit together with King Minos and King Rhadamanthus in the Underworld to decide upon the eternal fate of all the deceased. And according to Plato, Aeacus was specifically concerned with the shades, aka the souls of the dead, of Europeans upon their arrival to the Underworld. Let us finish with the following saying: "Power shows the man, Vias of Priene." That being said, remember guys to hit the like button and to subscribe to our channel, it would help us a lot. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for upcoming videos.